Let's talk about how long-term disability carriers view claims for ultimately soft tissue conditions or post-operative conditions that present with normal exam findings. Now, soft tissue conditions can be particularly challenging to prove in long-term disability claims. Insurers or plans often assume that these injuries will heal within weeks. And if you don't meet the elimination period, which is a waiting period before benefits begin, they may initially deny your coverage. So normally there might be a 6-month elimination period. So it could be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And they're looking to see whether your medical condition is one that should heal within that time frame based on their medical duration guidelines. And they may say, well, according to the guidelines, this soft tissue back strain should have healed 60 days. And our elimination period is 90 days. So too bad, so sad, you don't satisfy the elimination period. Now, obviously, many people who have soft tissue injuries, such as an ankle sprain or a back sprain, can recover quickly and never be eligible for benefits. And I'm not talking to that type of case. I'm talking about a situation where the injury persists beyond the typical 90-day elimination period. But I will tell you that in my experience, a disability carrier plan is going to be looking after that 90-day elimination period at your medical records. They want to determine the nature of the injury, the treatments that were provided, your response to the treatment. They want to look at whether your condition is really severe enough to prevent you performing the material duties of your own occupation and eventually any occupation. So what are they looking for? Well, first, they're looking for evidence of severe soft tissue conditions impacting muscles, ligaments, or tendons. They are also looking for surgeries that have been recommended or would repair the damaged tissues. They're looking for documentation of extensive tissue damage through MRIs, operative reports, or other imaging. They're looking for medical notes that illustrate the severity and expected duration of the condition. And they are looking for clear evidence that the condition prevents the performance of essential job duties. Let me tell you about a case that I had involving a firefighter who liked to kiteboard. And he had a severe groin strain and hernia as a result of kiteboarding. Underwent surgery, but had persistent pain, soft tissue swelling. His claim was denied. And we fought long and hard to get his benefits by trying to establish in the medical records the severity and expected duration of his symptoms. We documented in progress notes, physical therapy notes, and surgical documentation why he couldn't perform the essential job duties of a firefighter. That included documenting restrictions on lifting, pulling, pushing, stooping, bending, sitting, using hands and arms in repetitive motions. To do that, we had a functional capacity evaluation to document objectively the functional restrictions and limitations. We took that to the attending physician, treating physician, and asked the doctor to endorse the FCE findings and to complete a residual functional capacity form. We wanted to do that to provide a more precise assessment of his limitations. We also have done the same thing in other types of cases where the person has persistent soft tissue findings after, for example, undergoing back surgery. So the back surgery may have dealt with the radicular pains, but the person still has issues with swelling or stiffness or other symptoms that impact their ability to sit, that impact their need to alternate sitting and standing, that may require them to elevate their legs or to ice or to heat. So what we're trying to do is to work backwards, if you will. And in that particular case, document that the person had surgery. And yes, they had a partial recovery, but no, they didn't have a complete recovery because they continued to have soft tissue issues, swelling, spasm. We wanted to make sure that the doctor documented the spasm. We wanted the functional capacity evaluator to corroborate the spasm and other soft tissue findings. We wanted that FCE provider to document objectively the difficulty sitting, standing, walking, the level of discomfort, and how that person had to stop. Gave their great effort during the FCE, but couldn't complete all of the tasks of the FCE despite giving a great effort. Those are the kinds of things that you want to do in these types of cases. Now, I will tell you, the game changes when there's a transition from your own occupation to any occupation. Policies will vary in their definition of any occupation. But generally, in my view, what you have to prove is that you can't even do a sedentary job involving sitting most of the day and performing, basically manual tasks. They'll often argue that you can perform these sedentary tasks even if you're having post-surgical issues. So let's say, for example, you have bilateral carpal tunnel in both wrists, you undergo surgery, the tingling and numbness is gone, but you have problems with swelling and stiffness. And with repetitive use of your wrists and fingers, your just pain blows up. Again, what we want to be able to document is the post-surgical wrist complications that prevent things like gripping, twisting, or lifting, and the impact that it has when you're using both hands. So again, a functional capacity evaluation can help document these sorts of issues. You can see that navigating the process without strategy, without the assistance of an experienced attorney, a physician, and a great FCE provider can really result in a claim denial or termination and an unsuccessful appeal. The goal here is to collect and organize medical records to frame the narrative of symptoms and functionality in line with the policy terms, develop the necessary medical documentation in terms of objective testing, in terms of documentation of the symptoms, and to get that functional capacity evaluation. And of course, have that all corroborated in the medical records and in the residual functional capacity forms and the endorsement of the FCE. So it's teamwork. That's going to increase the likelihood of approval, and it positions you in a strong appeal if benefits are denied or terminated. Got it? Let's take a break.
Are you a professional with questions about your individual disability policy? You need the Disability Insurance Claims Survival Guide for Professionals. This book gives you a comprehensive understanding of your disability policy, with tips and to-dos that will assist you in submitting a winning disability application. This is one you don't want to miss. For the next 24 hours, we're giving away free copies of the Disability Insurance Claims Survival Guide for Professionals. Order yours today at disabilityclaimsforprofessionals.com.